Hi all! Everything in my video is pulled from the public domain, and I am using them under the Fair Use, Fair Dealings guidelines. Everything I say is my own opinion. You should look into this information for yourselves, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. Good morning, everybody. All right, this is going to be a short video. It's a compilation of different stories that have been coming up in the news, and we're just going to cover those really quickly. I also want to give you an update on my neighbor that you guys have all been praying for. They did an MRI yesterday to assess brain function because obviously we're hoping that there's either full brain function or none. The family has said their worst nightmare is that he'll be vent dependent in a nursing home somewhere. But I am very happy to report I was notified by his wife this morning that the MRI showed full brain function. So all that CPR worked. Everybody go get CPR certified. It's so important. Anyway, looks like, with God's help, he's going to make a full recovery. I love it. All right, let's jump right into our stories, shall we? Let's go. So let's start with this article. You guys remember when the Jamaican Prime Minister waited until Catherine and William were standing there in front of cameras and were unable to respond to anything and basically announced that they are going to be free of the Commonwealth. They want nothing to do with it. Now, I don't know why he decided to do that. He, basically said we're ditching the monarchy. Number one, these visits were not just for the Queen's Platinum Jubilee, but when they visit, it drums up interest in your country. I, for one, will absolutely visit Belize next year, and I'll probably hit the Caribbean. I, on the other hand, will not be spending one penny in Jamaica. But beyond that, this is where it gets interesting. Apparently, after that happened, if you can believe it or not, Jamaica now announced that they want this woman above as a candidate for the Commonwealth Secretary General. Well, if you're leaving the Commonwealth, why do you want to put somebody from Jamaica into the Commonwealth as a Secretary General? Right. Maybe they think that will keep Jamaica in the Commonwealth. Since they threatened to leave, you should let this person have the job. Personally, I'd say thank you. No, thank you. All right, moving on. All right, this next story is Elon Musk, who I believe Twitter put in Twitter jail. He got so upset. You shouldn't piss off a billionaire because he has now a bigger stake in Twitter than Jack Dorsey. So I foresee a lot of changes on Twitter. Love it. All right, this is just a quick little thing I'm throwing in there. As I said before, Harry partnered with Google. Google and YouTube are together. So I think that's why some of these channels are being taken down. But it'll be interesting to see what happens as far as Twitter goes. That may have an effect on Google and YouTube. Let's see. All right, I just had to throw this in here. A new study shows that people with dark personalities weaponize victimhood to gain advantage. Like we already know that. We've seen it. Okay, moving on. All right, this next one, I've spoken to you guys before about, I thought it was perfectly appropriate for Andrew to walk his mother down the aisle of the church to the service that was honoring his father, which people seem to forget. But now articles are coming out that Andrew is doing, I think he's trying to make like a comeback, which I think is a huge mistake. It's never going to happen. He did use Fergie's Instagram to send a message out, and he used his HRH title. But to be fair, Harry and Meghan were told that they couldn't use their HRH titles, and we know on at least 2 occasions that they did, even after they were told not to. Very interesting. And the reason I was saying about the comeback and it's a mistake is because Andrew is now going to go with his mom to the Derby. So yes, I think he's trying to make some sort of a comeback, which is a mistake. And William and Charles tried to head off at the Abbey what happened, but that's what the Queen wanted. So, okay, fine. But now it does look like this is inappropriate given everything Andrew has gone through or has happened or has done. So, I don't like this at all. This is unnecessary and should be stopped. Okay, moving on. Alrighty, Princess Royal. She opened the new Sea Cadet boat station. She's like perfect for that role, don't you guys think? I almost wish she could be, the next in line to the throne. That would be perfect. Okay, moving on. All right, one more story before we hit the big stuff. Ellie Hole posted that she spoke with YouTube, which interesting. She said she spoke with YouTube and they told her that there's an algorithm, so therefore nobody is being taken down by bots. Sorry, I don't believe that. I don't believe anything she says. I don't believe anybody who plays both sides to get their story to make themselves look good. Frankly, I'm shocked she's still working for the magazine. All right, moving on. Well, it couldn't have happened to a nicer person. Omid Scobie apparently has failed to turn over requested financial information about his business. Yes, and so the Crown is going to be seizing all of his assets. All right, I hope I say this right, but he has a publishing business, go figure, called MEYOU, MEYOU Limited. And he hasn't filed anything since 2019. So he's going to be getting fines. And if the firm is struck off, all of the assets are seized by the government. Okay, here we go. Back to Will Smith. He has now resigned from the Academy. So people are asking what's going to happen to his Oscar. Well, nothing that I'm aware of. I think he still gets to keep his Oscar, but he put out a very interesting statement, which Piers Morgan pointed out, and here it comes above. You may have to freeze your screen to read the whole thing. And apparently he has a couple of projects in progress that are now in jeopardy because he's resigned. I think it'll be very interesting to see how this ends up, how this whole mess just comes to an end. It's amazing. So once again, lots of stories. What do you guys think about Edward wanting to escort his mom to the Derby this year? And what do you guys think about the Jamaican Prime Minister giving that whole speech in front of William about how they want out of the Commonwealth and now they've put somebody up for the Commonwealth Secretary? What do you guys think about Elon Musk taking over controlling shares in Twitter? And what do you think is going to happen now? What do you guys think about Omid Scobie's business being seized by the Crown, the assets being seized for not filing his documents? I find that very interesting that he hasn't filed since 2019. Very odd. And what do you think about Will Smith resigning from the Oscars? Don't forget to leave your comments below. You know how much I love to read them. Don't forget you can follow me on Twitter. You can follow me on Getter, and you can email me at SueSmith1112@Yahoo. Don't forget that, you guys. Write it down somewhere. And as always, have a fabulous day.